Orange Sky is an organisation that provides free mobile laundry and shower services for Australians who are doing it a little tough. Well, Lucas Patchett, co-founder and CEO of Orange Sky, joins us live in Brisbane. How are you this afternoon, and thanks for joining us?
Awesome, thanks for having me.
So tell us about the story of the co-founder. Tell us how it all started.
So 9 years ago, my best mate Nick and I had a crazy idea to chuck 2 washers, 2 dryers in the back of an old van and just start washing and drying clothes for free. And that grew and suddenly exploded into so many services around the country. So we've got one of the laundry vans behind me, also a shower van here on the left. And we've now got 57 services across 37 locations in Australia and 5 services across 4 locations in New Zealand. Every week we're doing over 1,700 loads of washing, 150 safe hot showers, but most importantly, and most simply, it's conversations that take place. So every week we're doing over 2,200 hours of conversation, and that's for people who might be struggling in our community, and some of our incredible volunteers. We've got over 3,000 volunteers now that make Orange Sky happen every single day.
And what was your inspiration about starting up this organisation?
I was lucky enough at school to attend a school that actually ran a food service for people doing it tough. So at the age of 15, I was out on the streets cooking breakfast for people a kilometre from where I went to school every day that were really struggling to make ends meet and to get by. And I think as a 15-year-old, having your eyes open to homelessness at such an early age really built some empathy straight away, but also gave us a bit of curiosity as to, why was this such a massive problem in our own backyard? There's 122,000 people here in Australia who tonight are experiencing homelessness, and in such a lucky society and community, it really shouldn't be as big of an issue as it is. So we just want to do our little bit to help, and it's sort of grown from there.
And are you seeing that more help is being needed at the moment, especially with what's happening with the cost of living and so forth?
Absolutely. I think COVID supercharged so many things for so many people. And now with things like the rental crisis and the cost of living crisis, there is so much more demand on services. We're seeing more and more people come down who would never have thought that they'd use our service before, someone who might be coming down to a community meal to take a bit of pressure out of the family budget. With young kids in lots of cases, more on the fringes of a lot of the communities that we work in. So yeah, the demand for our service is absolutely going through the roof, and we're just doing the best that we can to respond to the rising demand.
And you're a non-for-profit organisation. You have, as you mentioned before, many volunteers. Tell us what the volunteers say about working for Orange Sky.
I think volunteers who volunteer with us come from so many different backgrounds and reasons. Some of them are really passionate about washing, some of them are really passionate about having a chat, but what connects everyone is just a bit of empathy and an ability to commit a couple of hours to Orange Sky every fortnight, and that transcends so many different challenges. We've got volunteers who are 18 through to 93, all walks of life, all different professional backgrounds, who give a little bit of their time each week. So it is, you don't need to be a washing expert or a shower connoisseur by any means. You just need to have a bit of time, a bit of empathy, and want to give back in your local community. So it is an incredibly rewarding thing to do. I'm lucky enough to be out on lots of different shifts and see so much of the impact that our volunteers create in the community.
Because we do here, don't we? It's about having a purpose in life. It's about connection. We really learnt that so much through the COVID pandemic, and as you mentioned as well, people doing it tough, perhaps more than ever, and different generations and people just getting together, not only for that washing in the shower, but to also, have a meal and just have a chat, which is just so important.
Absolutely. I think we all found through COVID how important hygiene was, but also how important human connection was. And I think they're the 2 pillars that Orange Sky is really built on, is providing awesome hygiene services for people who might not normally have access to it, but also, and more importantly, that connection that takes place. So for someone who is doing it tough, who might be judged, might be disconnected, and might not have just an hour of their week where they can feel a little bit normal and have a conversation, I think that can play out on the streets of Australia every single day through Orange Sky services.
And if people are needing your services, how can they find you?
Everything's on our website, orangesky.org.au. If you are struggling, jump on the website. You can have a look at all the different places we operate around the country. We're always in partnership with another service provider. So it might be a food van, a soup kitchen, a community health organisation, some other community organisation that's providing amazing services. So you can come in, chuck a load of washing on, in some cases have a shower, grab a cup of coffee, and also grab a feed or grab some support from someone else as well. So yeah, it's really pop-up communities happening all across the country every week. Happens over 350 times a week across Australia.
And just looking on your website, there's a couple of personal stories from some people that have used your services. Are you, do you see people connecting yet, over and over again and creating relationships as you move across the country?
Yeah, one of the friend stories that we're sharing at the moment is a friend by the name of Adam. Now, Adam, is in a wheelchair, struggles to do his washing at the best of times, but also for him to come down to do his washing. But more importantly, he's built up amazing rapport and relationship with those volunteers. So every week he's checking in on them, but they're also checking in on him and really creating that community. So it is a pretty simple thing, but it also can have a really, really massive impact. And through to when we see friends who transition out of using our services or off the streets, there still has that connection back, and every couple of months they might come in and check in on that team, because it is a really important part of that journey through homelessness and supporting people on their way.
And from the business side of things, Lucas, as you mentioned in the beginning of this chat, that you came up with this idea, you were inspired from being a 15-year-old and doing all those sorts of things, providing food for people in need. What would you say to people who have got great ideas and really want to, excel that forward to actually create the idea moving forward?
I think we were lucky, Nick and I were 20 years old, a little bit naive, but also excitable and also love coming up and giving crazy ideas a go. So I think my biggest advice is just to give it a go. When we were 20, we had no kids, no mortgage or anything like that. So it was just a case of, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? And also what was the best thing that could happen, which is probably what happened, is that we able to grow and now helping thousands of people on the streets of Australia every single day of the week. So I think give it a go, give it a crack, take that first step, because an idea is, until you can actually test it and trial it, is just an idea.
Congratulations, Lucas Patchett. Thank you very much and all the very best. And again, people can donate on your website, orangesky.org.au. Thank you.